Good evening. I would like to welcome you to our information session. My name is Kevin Stanley. I'm the program coordinator of the English Language and Culture program. I am je suis le coordinateur de programme Anglais Langue et Culture. I can answer questions this evening in English or in French as we go through, but I'm going to present in English only at this time. This is being recorded, and you're going to get a link to the recording probably tomorrow or maybe Monday or something like that. You'll get a link by email if you registered for this presentation to join us tonight. So there's a lot of people who registered. I think we'll probably have a few more of them coming tonight to join us as we get going. It is now 8 o'clock Montreal time, Eastern time, and we're going to get started. So, English Language and Culture program. As I said, my name is Kevin Stanley. I'm the program coordinator and a teacher in this program, and I'm responsible for it, and I'm very happy to welcome you to our program. Let's go on. So during the presentation, your microphones are muted. Later, you'll be able to, I think you're going to be able to ask questions by orally. If you'd like, with speaking, you can ask a question. But during the presentation, you can put a question in by chat. I'll try to get to some of those as we go. I'm looking at the chat, but also I'll make sure all those questions get answered tonight. I'll be talking for about 20 or 25 minutes about the program, and then we'll have lots of time for questions after. And as I said, the recording will be made available to you in the coming days. You'll be sent an email where you can watch again. Plus, the link will be available on our website, like the last recording was. Okay, let's begin. Let's get going. I like to start usually with this question: why do you want to study English? It's something that I like to sort of put to you about what the reasons you might be here, because there's a lot of reasons that students study at our school, and I'm going to tell you some of them, the ones I've heard, and maybe one of them is something that you feel. Some people need English for their job or their career. That's a very good reason to study with us, and this is a good place for you. Some people plan to study at an English university, and that's perfect because that's what we do mostly, is getting people ready for university, but we also get people ready for their work. Some people want to write a test. They're planning to write the TOEFL test or the IELTS or something like that. Or some of them are living in Canada or want to live in Canada in the future. So this is, again, a very good way to improve your English for that purpose, so that you can live with us and join us here in Canada, like 1 million people did last year. Lots of people are coming to Canada. So also, just some people just want to have more opportunities. They want to have more things to do in their life, for travel or for family or for other things. Someone who just says she cannot hear. I believe I've got my microphone working. I'm not sure if anyone else is having trouble with the audio, but is that right? I think we have some, I don't know. I have no indication that I don't have sound. I think it's okay. I believe it is. I'm not sure what the audio settings are. I'll just double check, since I don't think I've got a problem. Switch audio. No, I think we're good. I think we're okay. All right, I'm going to continue. Hopefully, Huda, you're able to fix something about your. Okay, other people are hearing okay. Good. Let's continue then. Other people can hear. Great. Thank you for confirming that. Huda, please check your. Okay, please check your settings. All right, there we go. Yeah, let's continue then. So. McGill University. Why McGill? McGill's a famous university here in Canada, and we are an old university. We were founded in 1821, so we're over 200 years old. We celebrated our 200th birthday a couple of years ago. We're very excited to be in our 3rd century. We are the #1 university in Canada according to different rating systems. Not everybody agrees all the time, but I think we're pretty close to #1. We were number 27 in 2022. I think we're number 31 this year or something in 2023, but it's really the most important thing is we're a top university in the world as a research university, and it's a great place to study. We've had 12 Nobel Prizes at McGill University and 147 Rhodes Scholars. But more important, we're a very international university. We have students from 150 countries. That's right, 150 countries. Almost everywhere in the world we have students from. And it's really exciting to be on our campus when it's such a place where the world comes together to meet. I'll show you some photos of our beautiful university. It's right in downtown Montreal. There's a nice spring photo. It's coming soon in a few months, a couple months. We'll have a beautiful weather like that and flowers on our downtown campus, people enjoying the sun. There's a view from above. Our building where all our classes is here on the corner, right in the corner of the campus. You can see this green space behind is Mount Royal Park, and that's right where our campus is, right on the hill there, leading up to what we call the mountain here in Montreal. And our campus is this lovely green space in the center of downtown. There's our hospital. That's the McGill University Health Center. That's a view of the western part of our campus, McTavish Street, going up there where people walk. That's the library down at the bottom there, and a few other buildings, the Brown building, and it's the Student Services building. That's the Student Union building. This is one of the library buildings. So it's really a very special campus. This is the Redpath Museum. We actually have our own natural history museum right on our campus with our own dinosaur. And there's a view of the Roddick Gates on Sherbrooke Street. Shows you just how close we are to the city. And some of our medical research buildings on the upper campus. And there's a picture of the Arts Building, our most famous building, sort of a symbol of McGill. In winter, winter's ending here now in Montreal, but there's still some snow on the ground and it's still a little cold. But we are a summer and a winter campus. We have courses all year round in this program. And there's a photo of the front of our building, 680 Sherbrooke West. That's where all our classes are, in this tower that's on the corner of the campus there. And it's, yeah, that's where our home is. And you can find us and where all our classes are. All right, moving along. So I wanted to sort of summarize the reasons you might want to choose our program. I'm going to get into some of the details there, but it's a chance to study English at the best language school in the best city in Canada, in the best university in Canada. So, I mean, that's a lot to say. However, I mean, I will say this, we are a great place to learn fast. The intensive program is every day, 24 hours a week, and you learn very quickly. You learn an entire level of English in just 6 weeks. Okay, this is pretty great. And you get to learn real English that you need for academic or professional life. It really is a place where what we're doing is getting you ready for the real world. And it's a chance to study with students from all over the world. We really are an international campus with students from everywhere. Right now, even though our program is kind of small in the winter, we don't have so many students. We've only a few classes. We still have, I think, about 20 countries represented. It's quite a lot of people from all over the place in our program. Now let's get down to how the program works. It's 6 weeks, as I said. One course is 6 weeks. One level is 6 weeks. We do 24 hours of class every week. So that's every day, 5 hours a day. This is not a part-time course. It's a full-time course. You really need to be able to commit to it full-time. It's very difficult to be working or doing anything like that with a course such as this. You have 2 teachers. There's one in the morning and one in the afternoon. I'm going to show you the schedule in a moment of what every week looks like. And we have conversation partners. These are some McGill students who work for us and come and help our students practice English at lunchtime. So there's the schedule. That's what every week looks like. Each week of 6 weeks is similar. You have a class from 9:30 in the morning to lunchtime, to 12 o'clock every day with the morning teacher, Monday to Thursday. You have an afternoon class from 1 o'clock, so a 1 hour lunch, 1 o'clock to 3:30 every day. Now, the only difference is Friday, and Friday is a special day. It's the same kind of morning schedule, and you have a short class in the afternoon. It's only 90 minutes in the afternoon, so that we finish at 2:30 on Fridays, and that allows you to participate in our special activities we have on Friday afternoons, exploring Montreal, visiting different places, and getting to know our city and our culture, and practicing your English. So in addition to that, at lunchtime, once or twice a week, there will be some special activities. You'll have someone come into your classroom, one of the conversation partners. You know, people often just eat their lunch in their classroom and have a bit of a break. And our conversation partners come around and help you practice and talk and discuss different things that are going on. We also have other special activities after school during the weekdays, other than the Friday outings. So there's really a lot of activity in our school, a lot of things happening, and it's not a place where you know, you can say it's boring. There's a lot going on. We do a lot of social cultural content in our course. We're learning English, but we're also learning about Canada, learning about Quebec, learning about Montreal. So here's some of the special topics that we have at each level. The levels have different focuses, and different things happen in those levels, but this really is a program that really focuses on culture. That's why it's called English Language and Culture. We really explore the diversity of our country and all the different things it has to offer. The classes are not very big. Our average in the program is about 15. So by average, I mean we take all the classes. Some classes are bigger than 15, some are smaller. Our maximum is around 20 usually. We might go as high as 21 or 22 sometimes, but rare, that's very rare. It's usually 20 is the maximum. Sometimes we might only have 8 students in a class. It depends on the level. Some levels have more students than others, and so we can't guarantee the size of your class, but the average is 15. When we get to an average of about 15, we make more classes. That's what we do. So your class will not be too big, and that gives you lots of attention from the 2 teachers. You spend a lot of time with a lot of students working in groups and talking and discussing. That's how our program works. That's how you learn a lot just by using English every day for 5 hours a day. And with those 2 teachers, you do get a lot of extra help and attention from them. Now, our course uses an LMS. At McGill, we have something called My Courses. It's like a home page where all the materials for the course is. So everything we do, the listening, the speaking, the reading, the writing, all the homework, everything you do is right here in the My Courses space. You don't have a book outside of this. Everything is here. It's a complete course online. You do the class in person in the classroom, but you need to have a device. You're going to need to have a computer to do that. You need to have a laptop computer or a tablet to participate in the class, because it's where the book is. It's online using the Wi-Fi here at McGill. Now, it's not impossible to use your phone to do this, but the phone is very difficult to work with for most of the work. You need to use a keyboard so you can write and you can find things and look at screens together. So it's just better if you bring a laptop. You know, it's important to charge up your laptop and you know, but we have it a way of you working with that every day, all the time. So it's just the way our school is. It's all online now. It's all in using a computer. So if you want to participate in this program, you need to have a laptop or a tablet, like an iPad, to work in the classroom. Let's continue. I mentioned conversation partners. They are these McGill students who work for us. They come and do some hours during lunchtime or after school and do special activities with students. They're a little younger than the teachers. The teachers are a little older, as like they're people like me. So it's nice to have someone a little bit younger sometimes to do activities with, and that's who they are. Some of them want to be teachers themselves in the future. They're studying to be teachers, and this is how they are getting a little bit of practice. But it's really just there to not teach so much as just to give someone to talk to and practice your English with and ask questions to. They're a little bit like a guide for the city for if you're new to the city, and like a friend who can help explain things to you and our culture. And so that's really what they're there for. I mentioned all the activities. We have a schedule that we create every session just for you, all the different things that are going on in the school every week. And we create the schedule and we put it out. It's in the classroom as a poster. You can actually find a link to this on our homepage. If you follow the link there, you can see what is going on this session. We're in the third week right now. You can see all the different activities that are happening. This is just an example, but we have a new one every session with special activities each time. Okay. I mentioned some other activities. We have a lot of volunteering opportunities. We have partnerships with different organizations. We have a partnership with MCLL, the McGill Community for Lifelong Learning. That's an organization with seniors. It allows you to volunteer to practice your English with them, but also to help them with other things. We have other kinds of volunteering opportunities in Montreal in different community organizations. We work with different partners in the community, and we're very proud of the work our students do as volunteers out in the community helping. And you're welcome to participate in those activities when you join us. We also have after-school special activities from CATS, Career Advising and Transition Services. That is an organization that we have here at the school to help people find jobs, and that's their job really to help talk about people learning, changing to new careers and new jobs. All right, so I've been talking a lot about how the program works. I'm going to get down to some other details now about what the program is for. It leads to a certificate of proficiency, and a certificate of proficiency is an official certificate from McGill University. It is presented at the convocation, so it's like it's a very formal presentation that's made of this at a special graduation ceremony twice a year. And to get this certificate, you have to do two things. You have to be admitted to the program, and you have to complete our top 2 levels. We have 8 levels, 8 courses, and our top 2 courses are 413 and 423. They're really kind of our 7th level, and you need to do both of those courses to get the certificate. So to get our certificate, which is very useful for many things, you must do at least 2 courses with us, Advanced 1 and Advanced 2. We'll talk about that in a minute with the levels. But if you have this certificate, it means your level of English is like an IELTS 6.5 or an IBT 90. And it means that McGill University recognizes you as having a good enough level of English to study at McGill University. Now, McGill University is a difficult university to enter. This only helps you with the English part, not with the other part of having very good grades and being a good student. I'm sure everyone's a great student if they want to do that. But if you don't want to write a test to enter McGill for English, you can do our program and avoid that. Our other program, our credit program, also does that. It also has a certificate which is recognized by McGill, but it takes longer to do because you have to do 10 courses, and this one's a lot faster if that's what you're interested in doing. So you have to be admitted to the program. You have to apply for admission and be admitted, which is not difficult. It's just something you have to do, and you have to do 2 courses with us. So advanced 1 and advanced 2. If you do lower levels, it doesn't count. You have to do those 2 levels. So that's very important that you understand how the certificate works. But I will explain a little bit more about our levels. All right. So I mentioned levels. We have 7 levels and 8 courses. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, Level 4, 5, 6, and Level 7 is these 2 courses, Advanced 1 and Advanced 2. You can do advanced 1 first, or you can do advanced 2 first. It doesn't matter. We don't always offer these at each session, so sometimes you might not have one of these available to you in a session, but they are, it'll be available the next session. That's usually how it works. So if you are interested in getting the certificate, just remember these 2 levels at the top, level 7, are the 2 you must do. And the other 6 levels are, have to be done before that if your level is too low. How do we know your level? Well, we do a placement test. We have an online placement test. The placement test is done online. It costs $43 to do. Everyone has to pay for the placement test, separate from your course. And it's going to be a 1-hour test. It takes 1 hour online. You need to use a headset, like something like one of these things, a headset, to do that, because you need to have a microphone on there to speak, because it tests your speaking in addition to your listening, reading, and writing. So the Versant test, it's called. You have to register for this test. I'm going to put a link right now in the chat for you if you're interested in registration for the placement test. If you're interested in studying with us at any time in the future, you can do this placement test whenever, but there is one actually available. These have a special time on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week is a time when you can do a placement test. We have a few placement test possibilities between now and our next course, but you need to register for that. You can't just do it anytime. You have to choose a time and do the test, and between Tuesday to Thursday next week is a possibility. The week after, I believe, is another one. As I said, you register, you click that link, you register, you pay $43, and you can take the test online. It takes 1 hour. You need to have, I said, a headset. It's very important you have the right equipment, because if you don't, you might not be able to get a good grade because of the speaking part is missing or something like that. Give yourself the time, the 1 hour to do it. You should really take it seriously if you're going to do the placement test. You can take the placement test and you don't have to study in our course. That's your choice. If you don't like the result of it, but you have to pay for the test anyways, $43 for the test. Everyone pays $43, and then if you want to register, you can register separately. Okay, so let's move on from the placement test to the placement test tells us which level to start in. Maybe you'll start in level 4. Maybe you'll start in level 6. Maybe you'll start in level 7. Maybe you'll start in level 1. We don't know until you do the placement test. Everyone does the placement test. Okay, so dates. When can you study? Well, the next class is summer 1, and that is May 8th. It starts. May 8th is the next course that starts. It's not that long from now. That is the summer 1 session. It lasts 6 weeks. It goes to June 16th. May 8th to June 16th. That's the next course. After that, there's another one a few weeks later, a couple of weeks later, July 3rd, July 3 to August 11, 6 weeks. Then there's another break, and we start on September 11 and we go to October 20th. Then in fall, it's October 20th to December 8th. That's the next, right into next winter. Those are the courses that are continuing through there. Excuse me. Yeah, the next course is May 8th. That's their next chance to study. If you're interested in beginning in May, you can begin in May. If you want to start in July, you can start in July. You can start in September if you wish. It doesn't matter. You need to do the test the placement test I mentioned. It's important you do that at least 1 month before. So you should do it very soon. Don't wait until the last minute because we need to know your level. So if it's you must do the test at least 2 or 3 weeks before. The fees, how much does it cost? This course is for one course, one level, is for 6 weeks. It costs $2,573.80. That's the current cost, 2,573. That's the price for all students. It's the same price for students who are permanent residents and students who are Canadian citizens and international students, same price for everyone. Now that is the regular price, the price before the deadline. If you wait beyond the deadline, it's more expensive. The books are included in this course. So when you study with this, you don't have to buy any books. All your books are included. There are some books in addition to the online material, and you'll get that book given to you for free. It's included in your fees. If you're an international student, this is not for permanent residents or citizens, but if you're an international student living in Canada, you must have Blue Cross medical insurance. So to come to study at our school and you're an international student, it doesn't matter if you have other insurance, you must have Blue Cross insurance. It's the McGill insurance that we have. The reason is the government requires that all students in a school like ours have insurance, and the only way to be sure is that we make sure you buy this insurance. You don't have a choice. It's $90 per semester. So if you're studying for the whole summer, it's $90. If you're studying for 6 weeks, it's $90. If you're studying for 12 weeks for 2 courses, it's $90. That's the way it works. As I mentioned, we have a deadline. The deadline is April 24th for the May 8th session. That's 2 weeks before is the deadline to register. You can register after the deadline, but you have to pay more. It's $200 extra. It's a $200 fee for registering late. It's very important to understand. You must not register late or you will pay $200 extra. So please remember, if you're interested, to take a placement test and to register for that as soon as you can. All right. So now I'm going to put that registration page up. If you are interested in registration, I'm going to put that up right now. Registration. Okay. So that previous one was the placement test. I'll put that up in a minute again. Huda has a question she wants to ask right now. Is there an expiry date for the exam results? Not exactly. One year. If you were taking the test right now, the placement test, if that's what you're asking, the placement test, Huda, the result is good for 1 year. Okay, so if you want to wait, you want to take the test now and you want to start in September, you want to start in January, it's okay. We'll respect your test result up to a year. Okay, so it's probably better that you take it a little bit closer to when you're planning to study, but you know it doesn't really matter that much. It lasts for 1 year. Okay, the placement test. Let's move on. Housing. If you're an international student and you're looking for a place to live in Montreal, I have a few things to say about this. We do not have any on-campus housing available. It's full of students who are here full-time. It's really difficult for international students coming for a short term to get housing on campus. But we have an off-campus housing website that you can get some help and some information. So off-campus housing, I'm just going to copy that correctly for you here. All right. I'm going to put that in. So off-campus housing is there. And let me just continue here. So that's the off-campus housing website. If you're looking for some help with that, about apartments or other types of arrangements for housing in Montreal. Some students are looking for homestays. A homestay is living with a host family. It means a company, there's these companies and they provide a room and, food and all these kind of things. And there's a certain cost in them every month for that. It's actually a very cheap way of doing housing. It's cheaper than many other options, homestay. And it's interesting because you spend time with a family, but okay, I'll come to your questions in just a moment. But let me finish talking about housing. I'll come to these questions that these people who have posted in the chat in a moment. So homestay is something, if you're interested in, you can do. It's a pretty good option. The other possibility for housing is private student residences. And that's where people are, it's like old hotels, and it's a place that you can stay in those. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're kind of an interesting kind of option too. So I'm just going to post those ones about housing for private student residences. I'm going to do a little bit more detail here about payment and a few other things, and then we're going to come back to the registration questions. For payment, you have a few options. Paying in person with a card is possible at our client services counter. That means using a credit card or debit card, and that's possible there. And then there's a way to pay with a Canadian bank using Interac e-transfer if you have a Canadian bank account. And if not, there's other ways. There's Convera or CIBC International Student Pay. These systems work very well. You have to pay a fee, but they are done by these. It's like Western Union, and they're able to transfer money from your country's bank directly into McGill, and it takes care of it. So it's a pretty easy way to pay. All those are options for payment online or in person. So you can get more details about that at that payment website and that kind of thing there. All right. So how to register. Now there's some questions about registration, and I'm going to explain about that a bit more. As I said, there's that registration link. I'm just going to put that up again for everybody. Just hold on a sec. Registration page. So let me put that there. And then I'm also going to put the placement test registration link as well for people if you're interested in taking the placement test. Now let me go to these questions that were in the chat from different people, and I'm going to come back and talk to make sure I get all those questions covered while I'm here. Aaron's, Jean, Ricardo, Medeiros, to everyone. I tried to register for the summer session 1. I was told I have to register as an independent student because the registration is already closed. No, it's not registration is closed. They're talking about admission. And I want to explain about admission. Admission means to get admitted to the program. You can register for any session at any time. Admission is different. It's limited with certain dates of when you can be admitted to a program. So you can register and take the summer 1 session without any problem. And you register as an independent student. We change your status to an admitted student when the deadline comes around to be admitted in the next session. That's all that means. And it's a bit confusing, and they should tell you, be a little clearer about that. That's not a no. You can register at any time for any course as an independent student. However, you have to be admitted to do more than 3 courses. If you do 3 courses, you must go for admission. That's the difference. So you can take a course, you can take 2 courses, you can take 3 courses without admission, but at some point you have to get admitted and you have to apply for admission and get that done so you can finish the program. Okay, so do not hesitate you can register at any time for the next course, and admission is not the problem. So please just go back and say you want to register for the course as a special student, independent student. That's fine. That's the way a lot of students start because there's only certain times you can be admitted. I hope that answers your question, and we can talk about that a little further if you want to ask me orally in a moment. Huda has a question. So I should do it again to register because I did it before more than 1 year. If you did the test before more than a year ago, yes, you should register for the placement test and do it again because your level may have changed since in 1 year. So please, Huda, take another, do that placement test again. I put the link in there below. You can register again. If you registered for it last time, you won't have to make a new profile. You'll be able to just log in again and take the test again. Instead of repeat, if it's more than a year old, your test results is not good anymore. Tariq has some questions. Is this course right for a person with very low English level? Yes. We have a placement, as I said on the placement test, if we look back at the levels, pardon me. Oh, sorry, levels, where's the levels? This is for you, Tariq. There is no minimum on the placement test. If you're very, very low, below a certain point, then we might not have level 1. We don't always have a level 1, but we usually have a level 1 course available, and there'll be a course for you. Now, it's not for someone with 0 English. We expect people to have some English. It's not 0 English because very few people do, and we don't really offer courses that basic. because there's so few students like that. So there's not really a minimum score. It's like most people are able to participate in the level 1 without too much trouble. Your other question, Tariq, is does the course supported by AFE loan? The AFE loan is not applicable to this course. This is a non-credit program. That's AFE, that's the Aide Financière aux Études, is only for our credit program. It is not for this program. That program is called EPC. So AFE eligible program is EPC, okay? That's what it is, English for Professional Communication. It's a credit program, okay? And this is the link to that. If you're interested in that program, Tariq, please go check that out. I can't give you much more information about that. That's really, you can find out everything you need for that. Is the certificate recognized by other Canadian or US universities? Not necessarily. Some of them do. Some universities do recognize our certificate, but not that many of them. That's why there are tests like TOEFL and IELTS, because imagine there's a lot of programs like this in the world. All over the world, there are intensive English programs. Many universities have them. And we don't know very much about other universities' programs. So what happens is everyone uses tests like TOEFL and IELTS for students who are not coming from their university. Some universities do recognize our program, but not only ones in Quebec sometimes, and not always that either. So there's no guarantees about that. Every university has its own rules for admission, and I don't know what all these other universities will do. So if you're interested in studying in another university, your best strategy is probably to plan on taking a test like IELTS or TOEFL. Okay, and another question from Tariq is there childcare services for mother students? No, there are not. There's no childcare services for daytime students here. McGill University has a daycare system, but there's a waiting list, and you need to apply for that and wait. It's not available on demand like that. We do not have childcare on campus for anybody with children at this time for students in this program. So you could look at the McGill daycare if you're interested in that, but we don't have that available, unfortunately. Okay, so let's see other questions. Does McGill have any similar program but 100% online? No, we do not, Angie. There is no program that's 100% online for us, for an intensive program. We had one during the pandemic. We were doing it, but it's not that popular, unfortunately, and we aren't able to get enough students to do it. So we're sticking with the in-person, which is more popular for most students at this time. If things are still slowly growing and returning to normal from before the pandemic, we might return to an online offering in the future, but right now, no, we're not. We don't have enough students to do both. So I'm going to get to, there's more questions in the chat in a moment. I'm just going to make sure everybody has all the other things they need. Just going to check something here. It's not there. This is our program page. If you're interested, just to go follow up with some more details. I'm also just going to go to the end of my presentation. There's a nice video we have, which I recommend you check out if you're interested to get more information about our program. I'm just going to put the link to the video if you haven't seen our video. It's very nice. So I'm going to stop sharing, and if anybody, and I'll be checking any more questions in the chat and see what else there might be. If someone wants to ask a question with their microphone, you can try that too. You can just put your hand up. There's a little hand thing down at the bottom of your screen. Huda had a question about, is the placement test link the same for EPC? It's not the same link. It's a different link, Huda. There's one for EPC and there's one for us. It's the same test. We have a separate system for the EPC program and for the ELC program. So, but if you take the wrong test, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Just tell us that you took the EPC test. It's the same test. As I said, we use the results from the other test all the time. That's not a problem. But it's best if you take our test and we know who's interested in which program, that's all. So if anyone wants to ask a question orally, I'm happy to answer any questions now. If you want to unmute your microphone, I think you can. If you're having any trouble doing that, I can maybe help you. But I'm happy to answer any other questions in the chat too. If you prefer in the chat, I can answer questions in French. Je suis capable de répondre aux questions en français si vous voulez. But we're doing this mainly in English. If you have a question you want to put in writing in Spanish, I can probably help, but I'm not very good at speaking Spanish. So any other questions? Anyone want to ask anything?
Can I ask?
Yeah, absolutely. That's you, Huda?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
I make the test and I make Minerva account and I start to register to choose 211 and this classes, but after that I couldn't know if I'm registering good or no, if they accept me or put me on waiting list. I don't know how to understand this.
Okay, so you're in the EPC program then?
Yeah.
Okay, this is not about the EPC program, this is about the intensive program.
Okay.
So the EPC program is evenings or Saturdays, sometimes daytime courses. If you're interested in that, I really can't answer your question about that. I don't know. But what you should do is I'm going to put a email address in the chat for you. So EPC questions about something like that. You should talk to Madame France Bruno. Okay, her name is France Bruno. I'm going to put her email in here for you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And I want you just to email her your question. Tell her you registered for something and you don't know what's going on, and she can help you. That's her job. She helps students in that program. That she's the advisor for that. You see her email there, francebruno@mcgill.ca. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
She can help you with that question for when you're probably for the summer courses. So yeah, I really can't answer I have no idea how to help you with that. So she's the one to do that for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? All right, so what I'll do is I'll stay on for a couple more minutes, but we'll wrap up here and we'll finish pretty soon. So if you have any other questions, you can always email. We have this is our email address, language.conted@mcgill.ca. That's the best place to ask questions about registration. I'd be very happy to do. If you have questions for me, my name is Kevin Stanley, kevinstanley@mcgill.ca. Easy to get a hold of me, but language.content is the best place to ask for questions about registration. Here's a question. How I was told that the program is no longer receiving applications. I made an application at the end of the 2023 session, but I'd like to register for the summer session one. Okay. If you made an application at the end of the winter 2023, is that what you mean? I think you mean winter session. But you'd like to register for summer one. So what you need to do is all you have to do. Never mind what they said about what they said about admission. That's not that important. But you need to come into. Are you in Montreal? Aaron's Jean Ricardo Medius. Are you in Montreal? Do you want to try? Can you speak on your microphone?
Hello. No, actually, I'm an AD.
Okay. So this is what I want you to do then. I want you to you can email to the email I just put in there for Huda, all right? You can email to this address I'm putting in the chat right now, okay? You see this language.content@mcgill.ca. If you prefer to ask a question or explain it in French, no problem. Si c'est en français, c'est aucun problème avec ça. They will send you a registration form and we'll get you registered, all right, for summer one, no problem. Now, do you need to get a student visa? Is that what you're trying to do? Do you need a study permit and a CAQ, or are you coming for a short time?
Yes, but I have two options. One is get a permit visa,
Yeah,
and the option two is to get visa, student visa.
right. Okay.
If I guess, yes.
So if you can, if you want to start in summer, in May, you have to come here as a visitor, on a visitor visa, okay? That's what's important. To change, you know, if you, and this is a question I see Angie's asking a similar question to do this kind of thing. You're able to, anybody who has a visitor visa, just visiting Canada for up to 6 months can take courses with us without getting a study permit. But if you want to study for more than 6 months, if you want to do a real serious program and be admitted and get the certificate, you need to get a study permit, which means a CAQ and a study permit. So you can start in May if you can come as a visitor, and then you can change your visa. All right, that's usually possible. However, you need to look at the Canada Immigration website about the rules about that, because I'm not allowed to advise you on that. You really need to check that yourself. But it's possible to start this program without a study permit. You can start courses. The courses can begin. You just have to get your paperwork settled later. Okay? Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yes. Okay,
So
thanks.
it's possible to start, but visas are important for long term. Okay, that's the question. So in the case of Angie, yes, if you understand, so if you have a visitor visa, you can begin and you can study, and it's fine for up to 6 months, 3 courses, 3 levels. But if you want to go longer, you really need to plan to get a study permit as soon as possible. All right, don't wait, because it takes time. Right now, Canada immigration is very slow. They're very busy, right? They have like 600,000 every year or something. They're working really hard, but you have to wait. Everything takes a long time. It's been, after the pandemic, things are really kind of crazy there. Okay, so that's important to remember. Okay, does that answer everyone's questions about immigration? It is your responsibility. I do check the Canada Immigration website. It's very clear what you have to do. It's easy to understand most of it, but you need to be careful that you make the right plan for that. You can again write to our language, to this website, languages.conted@mcgill.ca, and get help there and explanations of what you have to do from our people in our office can give you better answers for that. Okay, so any other questions? All right, then we'll stop it there, and I'm very happy to answer your questions. These are good questions, and you will receive a copy of our video, or you'll get a link to our video, the video of this, this event, probably by Monday. I don't know how long it takes. I'm not sure, but it does get processed, and then you're able to get a video link. And if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out with an email. We'd be very happy to help you find your way to join us in our program. Good night, everybody, and thank you for joining us. And I hope we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording.